Welcome to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Tuesday, November 12th. Hope everyone is having a great start to the week. So, Jaguars obviously did not have a great start to the week on Sunday. This is a football team that has gone in the wrong direction. We all know it. We don't have to keep talking about that. What I do want to talk about here this afternoon is some goals for the Jaguars to end the 2024 campaign, to have some positive momentum going into 2025. So we're going to talk about that. And yeah, the Jaguars could technically still win 9 games. Doug Peterson says all their goals are still right in front of them, although I'm pretty sure Shad Khan stated a goal was not to go 9-8 again for the third straight year. I digress. If you want the Jaguars, like if you still believe in this coaching staff and this regime, good on you. I certainly don't. To me, the goal moving forward for this season should not be about this season. It should be about the future, right? That's how I look at it. So we're going to outline, I've got 10 goals. I've got a bunch of goals for this football team. What I want them to achieve over the final couple months of this season and then into the start of the offseason. The biggest goal here, clearly for me, is a hard reset on the coaching staff and front office. You've got to move on. It's not working. It is not working. The Jaguars are 3-13 in their last 16 games. They're 2-8 this year. Has this season been a little bit snake bitten with bad luck? Sure. But I think that in a lot of ways you create your own luck, and this coaching staff and front office has made it more difficult than it needs to be to win football games for this football team, without question. Whether that be poor personnel decisions and bringing in the wrong people, not signing the right people, not addressing certain positions enough, horrible offensive game planning more often than not, horrible play sequencing, horrible in-game decision-making from the head coach position, questionable decision-making on the defensive side of the ball throughout the year. You have got to have a hard reset of this coaching staff and this front office. That is goal number 1. When will that happen? I don't know. Will it happen? I do think that the coaching staff is gone. I think the front office, I think Trent Baalke will be fired. Not as 100% on that, but I do think he will be fired. He has his fingerprints all over the losing. It's not just the coaching. I know we lose sight of that during the year, but Trent Baalke has his fingerprints all over the losing that is going on here in Jacksonville. So I do think that Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke probably both will be gone. I want to remind y'all, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Really appreciate your support of the channel here. So getting into my second big goal here, get Trevor Lawrence healthy, happy, and confident moving into 2025. How do you do that? Obviously, we haven't gotten the full picture on what's going on with his left shoulder, his non-throwing shoulder. From the media, national media, you've heard reports about maybe surgery potentially. From Doug Peterson, he said that there hasn't been any talk of surgery. He doesn't know where that's coming from. Whatever needs to happen with that shoulder, whether he needs to sit out the rest of the year, whether he just needs to sit out a couple weeks, whatever needs to happen, get that figured out, right? Get him healthy. Get him happy. How do you do that? And confident. How do you do that? Well, goal number 1 will help in that regard. You got to find a regime that will align with Trevor Lawrence's mindset. And his mindset is to win football games. So I think you do that and you'll be just fine. And I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence should be out here helping you pick a GM or a head coach or anything like that. But you've got to get people that believe in Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence believes in them. Otherwise, this is not going to work. At 3, get Brian Thomas Jr. more involved, please. Goodness gracious. This guy is unbelievable. unbelievably talented for your Jacksonville Jaguars. And he's been battling through chest injury, but he's been playing and he's not been getting targeted. Not nearly enough, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. You have got to get Brian Thomas Jr. more involved in this offense. Get him easy touches. It's not difficult to do. And target him down the field more too, right? You got to do it starting this upcoming week. At number 4, I think that Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne Jr. will probably both be on the roster next year. It doesn't really make sense to cut Travis Etienne. Maybe it could make sense for a new regime to trade him, or I don't know. But if I was a new head coach coming into Jacksonville, looking at what's on this roster or general manager, I'd be saying Tank and Travis, they have talent. I think we can coach them better and get a lot more out of them, right? We've seen them both perform at a high level in the NFL. So I would say get Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne going. I think that would be fantastic moving forward. To have a couple running backs that go into the season with to the offseason with confidence that you can continue to develop in whatever scheme and system you're bringing in here, that would be huge. Because they do have the talent to be a pretty impressive two-headed backfield. They do. It has not been Travis Etienne's year, but we have seen that man perform at a very high level. Tank Bigsby, we've seen it this year quite a bit. At number 5 here, continue to rush the passer, which you've been doing a good job with Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker. Continue that and get Armstead on the interior. This one might be just wishing and hoping for no reason, but I would love to see it. I really would. I would love to see that a whole lot more. The Eric Armstead part. I do think Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker will continue to play well, and that's going to be huge for enticing. We talk about Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. The talent, the top-end talent at each level of the defense is another enticing piece to this thing. Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen, Foye Luke, and you've got some nice young linebackers as well, and Tyson Campbell. There's leaders at every level there, right, of the defense. Something to keep in mind. Going to get to the rest of these goals, but first, got to remind y'all to check out Underdog Fantasy for Pick'em and a whole lot more. You can use code DuvalDaily on their easy-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash Pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. This season, Underdog is going to be running a special promo bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost. Pump up your winnings in just a tap when you apply the boost to eligible entries. Tons of options upcoming for the Jaguars. Jags and Lions. Cat fight. Could be an ugly one in Detroit. Maybe you want to take Tank Bigsby to score a touchdown. Maybe you want to look at one of the Lions running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Underdog has vulture protection to rescue your pick'em. If your running back gets vultured, they'll rescue that pick'em for you. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code DuvalDaily to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. Arizona 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring the show. So, getting into these back half of my goals here to end 2024. I mentioned linebacker just now. Build momentum at linebacker. I think that you have seen Ventrell Miller play very well a lot. You've seen Devin Lloyd play very well a lot. If you can get both of those guys moving in the right direction to close out this season, and then you have like a big time competition between those two throughout the 2025 offseason. I know most people would rather see Ventrell. I get that. I think if you're being objective, they have both had highs and lows this year. They have. And they both have different parts of their game that a future coach could get excited about. It's about figuring out what fits your system best and which skill set you would rather have on the field. And maybe, probably not. New coach will probably want, when you're in nickel, to have two linebackers you rely on, not having a rotation the same way Ryan Nielsen does. But who knows? Maybe they'll continue to rotate. Probably not the best idea. But build momentum at linebacker. I think that would be a great goal. You have the talent there. Foye Oluokun is your leader. Keep him healthy. Get these other two young guys going. Keep Tyson Campbell healthy. Obviously, that's not really within anyone's control as a goal. But that would be fantastic if he can just continue to play good football throughout the rest of the season, stay healthy, go into the 2025 offseason fully healthy, ready to go, ready to attack with confidence. I think that would be fantastic. And on that same note, Jarian Jones, you don't really have a building block on the outside opposite Tyson Campbell. We talked about that earlier today. But I do think Jarian Jones at nickel is absolutely a building block type piece for this defense. So I think you look at him and try to continue to have this momentum that he's built carry on and through the rest of the season here. You got to figure out if you have anything at safety. Andre Sisco, the way he's been playing, not likely to secure a big-time bag this offseason. But is it possible keeping him in Jacksonville could be your best path forward? He has talent. He has unbelievable physical talent. We know that. And we've seen him perform at a high level. You've even seen it at times this year. But it hasn't been consistent. Not much has been consistent for the Jaguars outside of inconsistency in 2024. So figure out if you have anything in Andre Sisco. Figure out if you want to try to keep him around. And if not, you're going to have to make some big-time moves at safety this offseason. Maybe you can figure out if Antonio Johnson can bring anything, right? And then 10, and not 10 in terms of importance, but just finally, probably the most important goal, and this will happen after the 2024 season comes to an end, but early on in the offseason, land the right people to move this franchise forward. How do you do that? Well, whatever Shad Khan has been doing hasn't been working, right? We do know that. I think that Doug Peterson, like I've said, was a decent hire at the time for head coach, but the guy who helped you make that hire, Trent Baalke, was not the right guy to be in that position. So whether you need to go find an EVP that can lead this football operation forward, or find a search firm, get a search committee together of people that care about Jacksonville, that want to see you succeed, that know the game, that know the sport, that know the profession. Whatever it is, you've got to find someone to support this young franchise, this young quarterback, and get them to the promised land. Because there are pieces here. And you're like, well, if there's pieces here, then why do we need to get rid of Trent Baalke? Trent Baalke is not a leader. He is not a team player. And beyond that, he is a flawed roster builder. Yes, there are pieces. Guess what? You give anybody 2 first overall picks, the amount of draft picks that he was given early on in his tenure here, yeah, you're going to hit on some players. You are, bottom line. So, I mean, and you give him the amount of free agency spending money, and you say, oh, well, there's a salary cap. Everybody has the same. No, they don't. Not every team operates the same way. And Shad Khan has continuously given Trent Baalke every means by which to sign as many players as he possibly can. The way Shad Khan is so willing to open up the checkbook to bring guys in, to figure things out, to get this thing moving in the right direction, should be a sign of encouragement for fans. But we've got to figure out, Shad Khan has got to figure out how to hire the right people. Bottom line. So that'll do it here for my goals to end 2024 and start the 2025 offseason. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.